Traveling alone. Pros and cons. Level C. 1. Advance. The rise of solo travel. Not long ago, traveling alone was something unusual. People used to see it as lonely, unsafe, or even a little sad. But today, solo travel has become one of the biggest trends in the world of tourism. From digital nomads working on laptops in Bali to students backpacking across Europe, more and more people are discovering the freedom of exploring the world by themselves. The idea of solo travel represents more than just being physically alone. It's a symbol of independence, self-discovery, and courage. Social media platforms like Instagram and YouTube have helped normalize it. Travelers share stories, photos, and advice, inspiring others to do the same. The message is clear. You don't need to wait for anyone to join you. The world is waiting right now. According to several travel studies, nearly 1/3 of millennial and Gen Z travelers have taken at least one solo trip. Some want to escape routines, others seek spiritual growth or self-reflection. Whatever the reason, the experience of traveling alone offers lessons that are both practical and deeply personal. Freedom, the greatest advantage. When you travel alone, the world feels different, lighter, more open, and full of possibilities. You are the only one who decides what to do, where to go, and how long to stay. You don't need to compromise or adjust your plans to please someone else. Want to spend an entire afternoon sketching in a cafe? Go for it. Want to wake up before sunrise and climb a hill for photos? Nobody will complain. Freedom also extends beyond scheduling. It affects the way you think and feel. Many solo travelers describe an intense sense of empowerment, the realization that they can rely entirely on themselves. When you navigate a foreign city, solve problems, or even order food in a new language, you prove to yourself that you're capable and adaptable. This independence often leads to personal growth. Without the safety net of friends or family, you learn to make decisions quickly and confidently. You become more open-minded, flexible, and aware of your surroundings. In a way, every solo traveler becomes both the hero and the narrator of their own story. Deeper cultural connection. Paradoxically, traveling alone often leads to deeper human connections. When you're part of a group, you tend to stay within it talking, laughing, and moving together. But when you're alone, you naturally become more approachable. Locals are more likely to start a conversation, offer help, or invite you to join a meal. Many solo travelers say that some of their most memorable moments come from these spontaneous encounters: sharing tea with a Moroccan shopkeeper, joining a family dinner in Italy, or being guided by a stranger through a hidden market in Bangkok. Such moments reveal something essential about humanity. We are wired to connect, even across cultures and languages. Solo travel also encourages curiosity. You start noticing details, the colors of the street markets, the rhythm of local conversations, the smell of food cooked at home. When no one distracts you, you truly observe. You listen. You learn. This level of awareness can transform a trip from a vacation into a deeply meaningful experience. The challenge of loneliness. Of course, traveling alone isn't all sunshine and freedom. Loneliness can appear unexpectedly in the middle of a crowded square, during a long train ride, or after a beautiful sunset you have no one to share with. Humans are social creatures, and even the most independent traveler can miss connection. The first few days are usually the hardest. You might feel self-conscious eating alone, or uncertain about talking to strangers. Some travelers find it liberating, others uncomfortable. But over time, most people discover that solitude isn't the same as loneliness. Being alone can be peaceful and restorative if you accept it as part of the journey. To cope, experienced solo travelers often develop small rituals, writing in a journal, taking photos, or video calling friends back home. These habits create a sense of continuity and belonging, even when you're far from familiar faces. Safety and practical concerns. Safety is another major topic when it comes to traveling alone. Without companions, you are entirely responsible for yourself. This means you must be extra careful with planning, accommodation, and local laws. Research becomes your best friend. Reading reviews, checking neighborhoods, and learning basic cultural etiquette can prevent many unpleasant surprises. Always share your itinerary with someone you trust. Keep emergency contacts on your phone. And trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Interestingly, the perception of safety often changes with experience. First-time solo travelers may feel anxious in unfamiliar situations, but after a few successful trips, they usually become more confident. They learn how to read people, assess environments, and manage risk intelligently. In fact, solo travel can strengthen your intuition, that quiet inner voice that tells you when to move on or when to stay. It's not about paranoia, but awareness. This mindset can be valuable in all areas of life, not just travel, personal transformation. Many who travel alone describe it as a turning point in their lives. When you step outside your comfort zone, everything becomes amplified. Your fears, your strengths, and your dreams. You see yourself more clearly because there's no one else to define you. Some find healing in solitude, especially after breakups or stressful periods. Others use solo travel as a way to rediscover purpose or creativity. Walking through unfamiliar cities, meeting people with different worldviews, or facing small challenges like missing a train, all of it builds resilience and self-trust. Traveling alone can be uncomfortable at times, but discomfort is often the birthplace of growth. It teaches you that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. The financial side of traveling alone. One of the less romanticized aspects of solo travel is money. Traveling alone often costs more, not because you spend irresponsibly, but because many expenses are designed for 2 or more people. Hotel rooms, car rentals, and even restaurant meals can feel more expensive when the bill isn't shared. Solo travelers, however, quickly become creative. They learn how to find affordable hostels, cook simple meals, or use shared transportation like buses and trains. Many use travel apps to split costs with other travelers they meet on the road. In fact, the need to save money often leads to deeper experiences. Staying in local guest houses instead of big hotels, taking overnight trains instead of flights, or volunteering in exchange for accommodation. This financial awareness also teaches self-discipline. When you travel alone, you are the only one responsible for your budget. You make every decision: what to spend, what to skip, what truly matters. Over time, this skill translates into everyday life. You learn to differentiate between what's necessary and what's just noise. Some travelers even say that managing money on the road becomes a metaphor for managing life, balancing freedom with responsibility. The myth of perfect freedom. Social media often paints solo travel as pure bliss, endless sunsets, quiet beaches, and perfect coffee cups. But in reality, it's a mix of highs and lows. The romantic idea of absolute freedom can be misleading. Freedom, as wonderful as it sounds, comes with responsibility and, at times, emotional weight. When you travel with friends, decisions are shared. When you're alone, every choice, good or bad, is yours alone. You decide which street to take, which stranger to trust, and how to handle unexpected problems. There are moments when this can feel empowering, but also moments when it feels heavy. If you miss a train, get lost, or face a language barrier, there's no one else to blame. You have to rely entirely on your problem-solving skills and patience. This self-reliance builds inner strength, but it also teaches humility. You realize how small you are in the vastness of the world, how unpredictable life can be, and how beautiful it is that you still keep going. The psychology of solitude. Traveling alone is, in many ways, a psychological experiment. When we remove the noise of daily life, colleagues, family, friends, we are left face to face with ourselves. For some, this is liberating. For others, it's uncomfortable. In solitude, your thoughts become louder. You start noticing what truly matters to you, your fears, desires, regrets, and values. Many solo travelers describe moments of clarity, sitting on a mountain trail or a quiet beach, when they suddenly understand something about their life. It's as if distance from home brings emotional closeness to oneself. Psychologists often describe this as reflective solitude. It's not loneliness, but an intentional time alone that allows the mind to process and grow. In our hyper-connected world, this kind of mental space is rare and valuable. Of course, solitude can also magnify insecurities. You might question your choices or feel disconnected from the people you left behind. But such feelings often lead to growth, forcing you to define who you are when no one else is watching. Meeting strangers. Finding yourself. One of the most beautiful paradoxes of solo travel is that the less you know people at the beginning, the more you end up connecting with them later. When you're alone, you open yourself to chance to meeting people you might have ignored otherwise. Conversations with strangers can become unexpectedly deep. There's a certain honesty that appears when you talk to someone you'll never meet again. You're free from social expectations, free to be yourself without filters. In hostels, on trains, or in small cafes, travelers share stories, fears, and dreams. Sometimes these fleeting connections last only hours. Sometimes they become lifelong friendships. Either way, they remind you that humanity is a global family and that kindness can appear anywhere. Meeting new people also challenges stereotypes. A traveler who once feared certain countries or cultures might return home with a completely different perspective. As one solo traveler wrote in her blog, "When you travel alone, you realize that the world is not divided into us and them. There's only we. Gender and safety, a different perspective." For women, solo travel often carries an extra layer of complexity. While male travelers are typically encouraged to be adventurous, women are frequently warned to be careful. And yes, safety is a valid concern, but it doesn't mean solo travel is impossible or inherently dangerous. Across the world, thousands of women are proving that traveling alone can be empowering. They plan carefully, trust their intuition, and build online communities for support and advice. Female solo travel has become not just an act of adventure, but also an act of independence and courage. Safety for all solo travelers, regardless of gender, is about awareness, not fear. It's about respecting cultural differences, avoiding unnecessary risks, and staying alert without becoming paranoid. In the end, courage and caution can coexist beautifully. Technology, the invisible companion. In the digital age, no one truly travels alone anymore. Smartphones, GPS, and instant messaging make it easier than ever to navigate, communicate, and stay safe. You can book a last-minute hostel, translate a sign, or share your live location with a friend in seconds. Apps like Google Maps, Couchsurfing, and Meetup have created a new dimension of solo travel, one where independence meets connectivity. You might explore a new city on your own during the day and meet locals for dinner in the evening through an app. However, there's a subtle danger too. Constant digital connection can reduce the sense of adventure. If you rely too much on your phone, you might miss the surprises that make travel magical. Getting a little lost, asking directions from a stranger, or stumbling upon a hidden cafe. Some travelers choose to disconnect days, leaving their phones off for a few hours to experience pure presence, to feel the world, instead of just documenting it. Redefining comfort zones. Solo travel often pushes people far beyond what they thought they could handle. It's not just about exploring foreign lands, it's about exploring your inner world. You might realize that you can handle confusion, silence, and even fear better than you imagined. The idea of being out of your comfort zone changes from something scary to something exciting. You start to crave new experiences because each one teaches you something valuable about yourself. In the end, the comfort zone doesn't disappear, it expands. What once felt terrifying, taking a long train ride alone, eating dinner solo, or booking a flight without a plan, slowly becomes natural. You discover that courage grows quietly, one small decision at a time. The power of connection. Ironically, one of the most beautiful surprises of solo travel is how unalone it can feel. When you're by yourself, you're far more likely to engage with locals or other travelers. Without a companion to lean on, you become more open, curious, and approachable. You might find yourself chatting with a cafe owner in Lisbon, sharing stories with a fellow backpacker in Thailand, or joining a local family dinner in Morocco. These encounters can turn into lifelong friendships, romantic adventures, or simply moments that expand your worldview. Solo travel also teaches a subtle but powerful lesson: that connection doesn't always depend on language. Smiles, gestures, and shared experiences often bridge cultural gaps better than words. Many solo travelers return home with a renewed faith in humanity, having met countless people who were kind, helpful, and generous to a stranger. However, it's also true that not every day is filled with companionship. There are nights when the city feels too quiet, when you long for someone to share a sunset with, or when the laughter of nearby groups makes you feel invisible. These moments can sting. Yet, they're also opportunities to strengthen your emotional independence, to learn how to find contentment and peace within yourself. Personal growth and transformation. Few experiences challenge and change a person as deeply as solo travel. It pushes you out of your comfort zone in ways no classroom, job, or relationship can. You learn to trust your instincts, to adapt quickly, and to take responsibility for every decision, both good and bad. When you navigate a chaotic train station in a foreign language or handle a mistake in your itinerary calmly, you realize how capable you are. That confidence doesn't disappear when you return home. It seeps into your career, relationships, and everyday choices. Solo travel also gives space for introspection. With no one else's opinions to consider, you start to hear your own voice more clearly. Many travelers describe moments of deep clarity, realizing what they truly value, or even making major life decisions during a long train ride or a quiet mountain hike. At the same time, the challenges you face, loneliness, homesickness, unexpected difficulties, build resilience. You learn that discomfort is not the enemy but a teacher. Every problem solved abroad becomes a story of strength you carry with you forever. The hidden costs of freedom. While solo travel is often portrayed as glamorous, it has its downsides. Constant decision-making can be mentally draining. From choosing where to eat to planning transportation, every responsibility falls on your shoulders. That independence, while empowering, can also be exhausting. Another issue is safety, particularly for women traveling alone or for those visiting unfamiliar regions. Solo travelers must stay extra cautious, avoiding certain areas at night, watching for scams, and maintaining awareness of their surroundings. These precautions can sometimes limit spontaneity. Then there's the matter of sharing experiences. Watching a breathtaking sunset or tasting an incredible dish is wonderful. But sometimes you crave someone who understands exactly what you're feeling at that moment. Solo travelers often record their journeys through photos, videos, or journals to capture those moments for later reflection. And of course, there's the cost of being your own company all the time. Without someone to share laughter or split expenses with, solo trips can feel more expensive both financially and emotionally. Finding balance. The truth is, neither solo nor group travel is better. They're just different. Traveling alone teaches you self-reliance, curiosity, and independence. Traveling with others nurtures connection, shared memories, and emotional comfort. Many seasoned travelers alternate between both, finding joy in the freedom of solo adventures and the warmth of companionship. Ultimately, The question isn't whether solo travel is right or wrong, but whether it's right for you right now. Maybe you're craving adventure, clarity, or a reset. Maybe you just need to remember who you are when the world is new and unfamiliar. The journey within. In the end, traveling alone is more than a physical journey, it's a journey inward. Every country, every challenge, every stranger you meet reflects something about yourself. The world becomes a mirror, showing you your courage, fears, strengths, and desires. You might set out searching for new landscapes, but often what you discover is your own inner world. And that, perhaps, is the most rewarding destination of all. Key takeaway: solo travel is both freeing and demanding. It offers independence, self-discovery, and authentic connection, but it also tests your patience, adaptability, and emotional resilience. For those brave enough to take the leap, it becomes an unforgettable chapter in the story of who they are becoming.